Hello, welcome to Nona's Mouse House. I'm so glad you're here. That's so much fun. Okay, so we've got everybody here today. Samuel has finished with his nap, and we've got Rain the gnome and Beckett the cowboy. They're sitting at the table. They're about ready to have some delicious bread and honey and other things we'll talk about. We've got the two ladies, and they've got a little bit of refreshment there. They're waiting for our next adventure where they're going to have a little tea party with everybody else. And then it looks like Soren and Avery have finished up their picnic. That was super fun, and they enjoyed that very much. Pops is so happy to be with all of you, as is Nona. And we've got Jackson over there with Ashla. He loves dogs too, and he's got a little bit of lemonade that he's enjoying. I want to talk to you about some bread and honey and apple butter. Okay, so we have a lot of people in our family that make bread, and they do a wonderful job. Uncle Schuyler loves to make bread. Uncle Keith loves to make bread. We've got Uncle Levi, and many of the grandmas love to make bread. Some of the dads and moms also love to make waffles and pancakes. Pops loves to make those. And then J-Ma and Uncle Schuyler or Dad are working on a very special project where they are making honey, and it's Colorado honey. So honey comes from bees. And some of you might be afraid of bees, but here's one really important thing to know. If we had no more bees, the earth would actually die in 3 years. That's how important bees are. And so J-Ma is a beekeeper, and she has her special bees, and she checks on them, and she wears a special suit. And Uncle Schuyler works on making sure everything's going right and working with restaurants in town and different places so that they can sell their delicious Colorado honey. And in the story we're going to read, they share some bread and some honey. So some people really know how to make great pizza. So definitely Uncle Keith, and I'm sure many others. And some people take the pizza crusts and they actually put honey on them, and they're delicious. Yeah, they're absolutely delicious. Another thing that people like to put on bread is apple butter. So my grandma, who would be many of yours great grandma, so it's Grammy's mom, Grandma Harrison, she used to make apple butter every year. So the funny thing about apple butter is that it doesn't have any butter in it. It's actually very good for you. It's made mostly from apples, and then it has some water and some cinnamon and sometimes a thickener like cornstarch. But it's not very hard to make, and it comes out kind of like a real spreadable honey. It's not as sticky, and it's super tasty. So one of the things that is super helpful if you're going to make apple butter is if you have an apple core peeler slicer. And that is one of Uncle Joe's favorite things that we have at our house. And you put the apple on it. Oh, you know what? One of the first stories we read, Little Critter, do you remember when he ordered this from a catalog? So it's definitely not the same, but if you turned it on its side, the apple core peeler has a long part to it, and you slide the apple on, and then there's a crank that you turn, and it actually takes the core out, and it takes the skin off, and it slices the apple for you. It's a wonderful invention. And I don't think they cost any more than like $20 on Amazon. So apple butter might be a fun thing to make while you're spending time with family and learning how to do that. Always be super careful when you guys are cooking and make sure that you watch out for the hot surfaces and that you pay close attention to the things that mom and dad are saying. But cooking is a very fun thing to do. And in the next adventure, we're going to talk more about baking because we have some very talented bakers in our family. So I've got a little story that I would love to share with you guys. It's not very long, and it's called, it's from the Candlewick Book of Bear Stories, like we saw before. And this one is called Ben and the Bear. It's by Chris Riddle. Might be pronounced Rydell. I'm not sure. Here we go. One day, Ben was bored. Does that ever happen to you? You just feeling bored? So he put on a huge winter coat and a big floppy hat. Nice hat. And then he set off into the snow. Oh, do you guys remember when we had all that snow not long ago? Boy, we had some snow adventures. After a while, he met a bear. And the bear said, "What a lovely coat." And Ben said, "Well, come home for tea." So some of the way, the bear carried Ben, and some of the way, Ben tried to carry the bear. The bear took Ben's coat nicely and set it aside, and Ben and the bear sat down at the table. The bear poured the tea. We've talked about that. It's very nice to share tea with someone. Ben passed the sugar cubes. Remember, you can say 1 lump or 2. The bear ate them all up. Woo, he must have been hungry. And they ate some bread, and then they ate some honey. Oh, but look at the mess that they're making on the floor. Do you see this? Look, there's tea and there's sugar cubes. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see what else they're gonna do. And the bear said, "Let's dance." And so they did. Doesn't that look like fun? Dancing is fun. How wonderful. Ben said, "What a mess." And the bear said, "Yes, let's clean up." Good idea, you guys. So they washed the dishes. They put the dishes away. They folded the tablecloth. And Ben said, "Ooh, that looks neat." And the bear said, "What should we do with the coat?" And Ben said, "Oh, you can have the coat." And the bear said, "Tomorrow you must come to my house for tea." The end. Isn't that a nice story? I like that one. Rain and Beckett, would you guys like some tea? 1 lump or 2? 2 lumps, a little bit of milk. That's exciting. Okay, here we go. We're going to continue on with our fun day. Thanks for joining us. Love you. Bye-bye.